Daily. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, I'm off to a slight start, a delay start, but it is Sponsor Friday. So, new part of my show. So, for sponsors, I'm going to go ahead and try to customize their build ideas to get the most out of what they're trying to accomplish with their build. I really like this. It makes it more engaging, and it also, helps incentivize players to, think outside the box. So today I have a build. I'm going to start off with one of my sponsors and long time subscribers. That's Lewis with his Warden tank build. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do today, I'm going to go ahead and delete a spot so I can build this on PTS and we can go over his build. Now he already has a build that he's wanting to work with, so it's kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and create a character. Now it's a Nord. So we're going to go to races and go to Nord, and it's a Warden. If I click it. Hey David, morning. So I'm just going to go over here and basically just call him Nord Mystic. You can say ignored Mystic. Hey, morning Lewis. Morning Robert. I'm working on your Warden tank today, Lewis. I still don't have another one I want to try to do too. So if anybody wants me to do a custom configuration build, go ahead, download the app, the YouTube gaming app, and hit the sponsor button, and I will see what I can get in for you today. It is going to be restricted to basically sponsors. This is a sponsor content. Morning Mustang. Do you think we will ever see badass hybrid builds? I'm hoping that it's a scaling issue is what it is. It's a scaling issue, David, between Stamina and Magicka, because the way of the ability excuse me, it is really cold and everybody's getting sick around here. A Nord will already love this. Right, Rock will love this. The problem is scaling how abilities scale. Not so much necessarily champion points, because champion points then specifies elemental and damage properties, but just from the base idea of, okay, this ability scales stamina, this ability scales Magicka, this ability scales, off either one of those. So it's a question of, oh my gosh, how's that scaling system work? If they fix the scaling system, where the abilities would scale both, then you have more plausibility and more viability towards endgame. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I got to take a look at all your specifications. I also have it on my thing here so I can pull it up. And I'm glad you're actually here, Lewis, so we can have this discussion while we're going together. Alright, so we can just get out in the open. I won't actually need to go ahead into like a test dummy. Tanks are all about like paper, like what you're looking for, your paper trail and your stat sheet. All right, so we're at a Ward tank. Now, first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is let's take a look at your attribute points. I'm going to open up this thing and see if you had placed your attribute points. I see the skill line the way you set it up, but in your green your Plague Doctor and Green Pack, but I didn't see how you have your attribute points. But let's go ahead and we'll figure it out. We'll get it done. All right, sounds good. We'll get her done. Okay, so the first thing I want to go ahead and do, actually, let's skip that for a minute, just to get the gear out of the way. All right. So, Green Pack and Plague Doctors, both overland sets. Really good overland sets, actually. Damn good. Okay, Lewis, any monster set you're specifically looking to use, or are you open, or I like the Plague Doctor look better than the green pack. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have all in Magicka. Okay, so nothing in health. Shield. We'll go Maul. Shield and Maul. Just for now. Alright. So let's go in, and you have all in Magicka, you said. We can change it if we need to. Alright. Let's go into the gear configuration. I like the look of Plague Doctors a little bit better for the armor. I don't like the way green pack. I mean, that's based off Bosner, I believe. So let's go in. Okay, that's our 5 standard on that. Now we want the green pack Jory. If I can. I have no particular set in mind. I've been just testing around. Okay, okay. But this is kind of the idea you were going off of. So I kind of like that idea. So I obviously want to try to stay with that. Now I don't have another green pack shield. But actually the way I'm... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We'll see. I have an idea. The stream is buffering a lot for me. Oh, that's not good. Is anybody else having that problem? Could be net neutrality or something. Hope not. So I went all in Magicka because I felt I could get my desired health through food buff, gear, and etc. Right. Stamina becomes the issue for block. Everybody's buffering. Can you guys hear me? That's weird. Alright, let me check it out. Hopefully I'm not experiencing technical difficulties. This net neutrality has been really bad. It's been bad. Let me go ahead. Might have to restart the stream. Check it out.
We're Rhett and Link, and we wanted to show you how we created our amazing new website with Wix.
Now we know that having a great
stamina becomes the issue for block. Okay, so I mean it's playing on my end. If you have better suggestions for gear, I'm open-minded. I don't know if I love Plague with green pack. I like the idea with the green pack. But given the fact that you're going Magicka based, tells me one of two things. You're either not going to have enough stamina for block, or you're going to be you're going to have enough to cast and everything, but you're not going to have enough to block. That becomes my question here. Yeah, my logic was to use Bull Netch to help out with stamina since I already have enough points. Right. And that's what I'm going to take a look at once I get the gear set up. So I kind of like... Let me get the food buff here. Hold on. That was food buff, right? That we got to have a green pack, I believe. Right. So let me get a food buff. Now it's not going to be optimized max because I'm just kind of, you know, Where's that bag at? Consumables. Let me get the capacity to... Health recovery is nice. Max health, mind you, will scale up with the Undaunted since we don't have those passives. So let's unlock that. Let's get all that unlocked, shall we? Let's get these passives unlocked. Nord's also going to get stamina. Alright. I'm just going to get the base stats of... Okay. It seemed to stop buffering for me. Yeah, I went on and it actually was working for me just now. So that's why I'm kind of like, what's going on? I swear. Me and my kids always joke if it's that net neutrality. We're just going to take some of these passives just in case we decide to do something a little different. I don't need that, don't need that. Hey, Papa! Happy Friday! Welcome to the stream. All right, so let's go back in here. Now, mind you, also with another food buff, you'd be sitting higher. Max Magicka looks good, really. To be honest with you, because you're not going to spam cast. And you might have enough for block, but you're going to be using a couple of stam abilities. Now, the Bull Net, you're right, could help sustain that. I would say I would want another 2K, given that factor. Here's why. Because you're using, you're getting that nice health recovery with the green pack set. But 35K, now keep in mind, I don't have the right food. So that would be another determining factor. But here's another issue altogether, is your stam recovery is really low. So if you were going to go lower, you'd want more stam recovery to offset that difference. Health recovery looks good. Max health looks good. I like the idea of the whole setup. I just don't know if the green pack along with Plague Doctors is as good of an idea because of that, you know, reduction in sets. Let me take a look at some of the other heavy armor sets. I want to see if we can find something with like a little bit of a stamina. I don't, you know. That's PvP. No. 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 Nope. 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 Nothing in the overland. Let's go see dungeon sets. No. It has the stamina, but not kind of what you're doing with this setup. Hey, Zai, what's up, dude? Welcome. And yes, I do a lot of weaving when I'm on my sorting board to keep up stam. But for mob pulls, I use my frost staff. Okay, so you are using a frost staff. Mainly keep my sword and board for bosses. Okay, that, you know, that actually answers a lot because I was thinking about that. So, okay, so you're going to be using a frost staff, which is actually badass. I'm glad you just said that. So, that makes more sense. So, because you're going to use Magicka for block. Cool deal. Because you're going to get that passive. Nice. Very, very nice. Go Alkosh, Uology. I'm going to kick your ass, dude. Don't put Alkosh on a prime. Off tank, you can go Alkosh. I have no problem with that. If I heal a fucking main tank with Alkosh, I will fucking lose it. Worst mitigation ever. 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 Alright. I need Plague Doctor staff. Oh, where's that weapon? Alright. I need a Plague Doctor's ice staff. Or Green Pack's ice staff. No, it's Plague Doctors. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I question myself. Okay, we want to go with the ice staff. And we're also going to go with this. Now watch what we're going to go ahead and do. Now here's another thing. Like the Plague Doctor, we're going to set this up a little different because you're only going to... Now, are you using... You're using a sword and board, but are you using like... Do you have access, Lewis, to Uology with the great call on the other set, right? Hey, Lewis, do you have access to the sword and board? Because this is what I'm actually thinking. Now, mind you, I can go with any staff, but you know what I'm thinking? Literally, screw the monster set altogether with this build. I'm thinking it. I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking it. I'm actually thinking in the back of my head of doing this instead. And I wanted to test this on something. Nope. Where's the masters? There it is. This is actually kind of what I'm thinking here. You heal. You'll get a self-sustained heal on top of this. Bad boy. Yep. Because you're going to use a frost staff. Right? Forget the monster set. Your health recovery is really nice. So basically the whole build premise that I'm really liking to do this with. And I usually use a monster set for like, you know, mitigating effects. Right? But given the fact that you're using a frost staff, you can keep your green pack and your Plague Doctor static at all time, right? You never lose the bonuses on both on a switch because you're using frost staff. Now it could be, if you wanted to, you could go with the Maelstrom staff, but you're not using the wall. You can get it, but you're not using it. You can go with any staff, any crafted. But the biggest one here is, and I hope they introduce like the tanking staffs and stuff for like warden tanks. That would be awesome. But the idea is you're only going to have puncture on one bar, right? So, and of course it's still, I don't know if it's, okay, now when I switch out, it should be bonus, right? So, I'm kind of liking this setup because look, I get this, now I have green pack constant, and Plague Doctors is constant. It's stacked. I don't have to fucking worry about a drop off on a bar swap because you're going to use the ice staff, so it makes sense, right? Now, also keep in mind we didn't put in champion points yet, so let's get into the skill configuration of your bar, and I'm going to pull that up. So, okay, primary bar, you're going to use Pierce, Slash, Absorb, Bull, Ice. Okay. All right. So Pierce. Heroic Slash. Absorb Magic. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, instead of having to swap out, just go with any Ice Staff, then get the Master Sword and Board. There's a trick to the Master's Sword and Board. Yeah. I mean, by all means, please, you know, if you can help these guys, cool deal. But I like the idea behind it. Okay, we're going to go Bullnetch. Okay, now you have also Aggressive Warhorn on this bar. And you have Ice Fortress, which makes sense. Ice Fortress is so pretty on the Warden tanks. So pretty. You cannot crit the heal, right, because it's proc, but it's not 2500 static. It increases from healing received. So if you pump that up to like 4k heal, that's 4k resist. You must be under 100 HPS to benefit, though. Oh, really? That's kind of interesting, though, because with the Warden, they kind of heal as they're doing stuff because of the... What I'm wondering, Zai, because of the buff the Wardens get with maturation. Hey, Lavon, the more healing received you have, the stronger the heal from the stab. It's nuts. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Would maturation apply the effect? You know what I'm saying? Because he's running a heal. Actually, we're going to get rid of that. Actually, I have an idea, since Zai just said that. We're going to get rid of one ability on the back bar. Actually, it'll be on this bar. So we're going to replace the Bullnetch. Actually, since he said that, and we're on the Sword and Board side, I have an idea here. We're actually going to use Lotus Blossom instead. Hey, Clint, morning. Now, Clint, I think you said you had a build idea today. So after I'm done here, if there's something that you want, you know, to look at for a build, let me know. So we're gonna go with this, right? The Lotus Flower, and I'm actually wanting, because look, your light attacks restore health. So when you're weaving and you're puncturing and your healing's pulling off, or actually, no. Living Vines, that would be probably a better one. Because it's going to apply the minor lifesteal. Oh my god. Or Living Trellis. I like the Leeching Vines on this build. So replace that, put this. Healing's applied. The heal from the stab does not proc minor toughness. Right. No, right. But what I'm saying, if the healing's up, like if you're healing, if like say your maturation goes up and your the healing increases, would that have anything to do with the effect? Is what I'm wondering, Zai. I don't know. Because if you're continuously healing and maturation keeps applying and reapplies the buff and those effects are firing, you know. Lotus, no lie, I have considered using Lotus. Actually, I'm actually gonna do this for the healing effect. The leeching. I think this will be a better one. Yep. I think leeching is going to be a better one on the bar. And we're still gonna use the Bullnetch. We're just gonna put it on back bar. Because you had leeching. It does proc it. Thank you, Zai. I was wondering. I'm like, would that work? Does that work? You know? Because I never thought about that till you mentioned it. I never thought about it. It was like, if the healing received, yes, okay. This is going to be good, yes. So put the leeching on this side. Damn right. Okay, cool deal. Yo, Zai, man, thanks for that heads up, dude. Because I wasn't aware it was like a scaling off of your heals like that. You know, like if it didn't, like the static effect was affected like in that manner. That's pretty cool, dude. That is so fucking cool. Sometimes you just don't pay attention to that. That's so badass, dude. So, okay. So this is pretty much your main bar. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your back bar. You're using blockade. Oh my god! Oh my god! You're using blockade on this build? Oh my god, that's awesome. That's actually awesome. And you have the leech, so we're going to put the bull netch there. Oh my god, you just made my day easier. Lewis. It's like you definitely came to the right spot. Okay, you are using blockade in this build. I do too. On Warden. Guess what you can go with? If you want to go get it, you don't have to. If you don't want to go get this, do not go get this, right? You can use any. So I'm not saying it's a must. But with this build config, you can go with the Maelstrom Ice Staff. And why do you want to go with the Ice Staff? Because your light and heavy attacks are going to deal when you use the crushing wall. When you use the wall. And I would blockade roots and maims, right? Yeah, no, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was like soon as he has the blockade, I'm like, right, of course. And now you can go with this. You could go with the Ice Staff. It's so badass. It's so badass. You know, you could two ways to look at it. Personally, I would go with the infused, and this is why. Okay, I'm going to show you why you're going to want to probably go with infused. Okay, when we go ahead and we look at our enchantments, so we're going to go ahead. It's in consumables. I didn't get it yet. I need enchantments. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go to the armor enchantment box. We're going to look at the crushers. You're wanting to go and put crushers on both, but that Ice Staff is going to be really friggin' sick. Oh, that's gear. It's going to be sick to put crushers on an infused ice Maelstrom staff. Because tanks always usually use the, you know, the debuff because they don't stack. It just resets. They don't have a crushers? Oh, that sucks. Really, Zoss? Okay, you want to put crushers. Yeah, the CC is sick with the build, right? I use that. So I would go with the Maelstrom Ice Staff. Get crushers on both. I would personally go charged for the increased chance to pen stuff. But you do your own thing. I'm 100% sure you have a plan. What I'm thinking here, Zai, is to keep reapplying. Like a lot of people, I usually go decisive to generate ultimate faster for Warhorn rotation. Typically, I like decisive on my tanks because of that. But charge would be a good idea. Because, like Zai said, the pin, the status effect would apply faster, and you get that nice CC, and you get the maim and all that other good shit that's going with the blockade. So you could go with that. I just like the idea of a faster uptime on boss encounters with your crushers, right? So there's a lot of options just in that alone. So like Zaya was mentioning, charged, benefits, status effects, maim, apply. Zaya, wouldn't that hurt my mitigation? No, it's not, because it's not going to be based off of your mitigation unless you use defend. Because this is a separate, it's its own separate stat, Lewis. That's why Zai was saying the charge would be in your best interest to get the status effect. Plus you're getting that maim. Yeah, and it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I like the idea that you're going to have flexibility in that aspect, Lewis. Infused is going to decrease your Crusher enchantment time and increase how much penetration you're giving your party members. Charge is going to give you the status effect. So Infused benefits the Crusher enchant. Infused, that's what Infused does. Charge applies the status effect more frequently, thus reducing will actually apply the status effect, applying Maim and stuff like that, increasing mitigation. Or you can go Decisive and increase your generation. So there's like 3 recommendations. I wouldn't go Defending. I mean, literally, hey Mystic, what's up? I would not go with the Defending on this one, though. So the 3 options for your staff, and that's flexible. You can go Infused, you can go Decisive for alt gen, or you could probably, like Zai said, go with the Charge. Each are going to have their pros in the application with your build. So flexibility is there. It's apparent. So nice. It's like, oh my god, okay, cool deal. Maybe have 2 swap out depending on fight. Right. I agree, Zai. I think that I literally agree with that. I see where you're going with the Crushers. Yeah. I honestly think that's a great idea. Daily, you're garbage and ESO, stop playing. Oh, looky, it's a troll. Yeah. Hey, did you catch ESO live there, Skits? Guess what? The dev said, we're helping with templates for new players so they can pick it'll guide them through their role that they're choosing, whether it be Stam, Magicka, Healing, or Tank. Did you know that, Skits? Did you know that? Did you know that? I'm sorry, you're garbage. Bye-bye. Anyways, now that we took care of that. All right, so I like that. Because I just like it. It's static. All this is static. You got all that. Now let's check out this bar. So we were running Blockade. So we're going to go down to Destruction Staff. We're going to pick up this passes. This one's going to be the biggest one. Down here is the Trifocus. Keep in mind that fully charged heavy attacks from a Frost Stat also has the range taunt ability. I really like that, especially with the Warden tanks. Also, it's going to use Magicka to block versus Stamina. So even when your stamina gets low, you go to the Frost Staff, boom, blocking on that end. Twin not wasting time removing people anymore. Yeah. Yep. Nope. I mean, the way I look at it is like this. I'm not dealing with trolls anymore. That yesterday, like, I'm hoping to talk with Mike and Rich maybe sometime in the future. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a small channel. You know, I'm not a big. This is Lewis's Nord tank Warden tank build. Okay. So just Wall of Element. Oh, wait. Now, see, let's make sure. You have Blockade, I believe, on your thing you sent me. Yeah. Blockade, Blast, Assault, Shimmer, Bull. We'll put that there. Okay. So, Blockade. Boom. Done. Okay. We're going to be using the Shocks. Now that's for the Major Fracture. I already knew where you were going with that. We're going to pull the Bull Netch where you had this. We're going to go with that. Let's see which one you had. I think it was the... Yep, Arctic Blast. Deals Frost. You know what? I would say you're better off with Polar Winds maybe on this build. I don't know. No, because I get what you're doing. You're applying that effect. Okay. Nope, that's pretty good. Yep, range taunt. Range taunt. Always. And Magicka block on tank for the mitigation. Now, did you go with the Shimmering Shield? Yep. I always do the same thing. So you have the Major, And you have the miner. That's kind of cool. And, of course, let's make sure what other... I like Polar Wind. I love Polar Wind. But I see what he's doing with this. It's kind of like an AoE effect, you know, when he's within the thing. So I guess I understand that. Right. So I get what he's doing. I like Polar Wind too. I'm biased to Polar Wind on my tank, my Warden tank. I'm a little biased to it. I love it. And Northern Storm. I kind of have that. Max Magicka. Actually, I like the Permafrost idea better than the Max Magicka. This is why, Lewis. And I'm gonna say Permafrost is great if you're gonna scale damage, right? If you're gonna scale damage, Permafrost is great. But if you want the CC effect, you got some deeps too using for more CC, right? I like the Northern Storm. The Permafrost better on the tank. That's up to you. So, what I would like to CC mobs for days. Yep, that's what he's doing with the blast. So, if you want to go with the Northern Storm from Max Magicka, you could. But I like the Permafrost because of the CC effect. Is a lot better. Now that's up to you. Yeah, Permafrost. I mean, you're not, as a tank, you're not worried about max anything, but when you swap, remember your stat's going to drop. So the only time you really want to use Northern Storm, if you're going to go static on both, increase Max Magicka consistently. So if your Max Magicka was scaled consistently, you'd go with the Northern Storm. If you're scaling damage, that's another approach why you would slot it. Yeah, Permafrost, yeah. Okay, so you do use Permafrost. Permafrost is great. I agree, 100%. Now, I like the build config. Now, when we go ahead and we make sure I have all these passives unlocked. Now, when we go into the character sheet, your health recovery is insane. So this is what we're going to do, because you're getting that boost. You're going to be primary Magicka and stamina. So you don't need that much. I'd say anything around after 1200 health is, given the fact that you're also having a high-end mitigation, it's going to be a little like overkill at this point. So we're going to go 2 Magicka recoveries, and we're going to go 1 stam recovery. We're going to go into your jewelry, which is already glyphed health recovery, right? Because your sets from your green pack already gives you health recovery. So your jewelry sets you don't need to do. So we're going to put Magicka. We're going to go another Magicka, and we're going to go with the stamina. Now let's go back in. Now see what we did? Your main shield side. Now mind you, I don't have the right food. So that'll scale up even higher. So you're going to be looking at almost 14 on stamina. You're going to be looking at around 20 Magicka. Actually, let's drop that down just because the only thing you need the stamina for is block and your 2 main abilities. I use Subterranean Assaults. Now see, you do have Subterranean Assault. So let me offset this just a little bit. Let me offset this just a little bit. Let me show you what I would do with this configuration. Alright. Now since we have all of this already configured, like you said, you have all the health you need with the build. I would go about 10 points in the stamina and the rest in the Magicka. Gives you a little cushion. So you have just a little bit of cushion. Your recoveries are kind of in line. AoE friction. Anyone else buffing a lot? It keeps like doing that. It's YouTube. Yeah, it's crazy. I freaking YouTube, I swear. It's net neutrality, I swear. That's what it is. It's net neutrality. It's affecting people. So, anyways, I really like that. the way that's set up. Right there. That's how I would do it. I would go with the 10 and the Magicka. So you're going to be looking at almost like 14, 15K. Close to about 15K. You want to kind of even that margin between Magicka and Stamina just a little bit. But keep enough Magicka for the blocks between the two. Okay. Now, let's go into the champion points. This is the big one here. Okay. Block reduction is going to be a primary focus in this, even though you do have the one on the Absorb Magic on the one side. I always suggest about 19% base, and then you can adjust the value. Recovery is the bigger one, because you're going both. But you're not going to suffer, because you're using both, you suffer less from your diminishing. You're suffering way less on your diminishing value. That's the nice thing about tanks. That's what makes tanks so strong. When people ask why tanks are so strong, because they suffer less from the diminishing value. Going up to about 9. Now, we're going to be weaving. You said you weave. You can weave on both ends. That's really nice. As a tank, you get that bonus though. So we're going to go 37 across the board. Okay. I don't roll dodge as a tank. Hey Mystic, new watcher, love your vids, keep up the good work. Thank you Marcus, and welcome to ESO Daily. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I don't use roll dodge as a tank. I don't. It's all about block. If I have to roll dodge, something's crazy. Now I do put break freeze the biggest one for me also. As a tank. I usually go between 9 and something. Sprinter, I put a few points in because I'm always getting above people. Let's go 9.17 on this build configuration. Now that leaves us a lot. Now we're going to put some in health recovery. Not too much, probably about 6. And we're because of that build. Now, we have a couple points left over. That probably is going to allow us to scale this. We're 1 point shy. I hate when that happens. I'm so close to like the numbers. It kills me when that happens. Got 2 points, and then we can put 1% in the roll dodge. I kind of like this because you're going to be suffering way less from the diminishing value. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got an idea. We got more max Magicka anyways. We got 1 point left. Really? Wow. Just buffered over. Whatever. Alright. Now. A lot of self-sustain heals. Kind of like it. We're going to take this up. A lot, actually. We're going 9%. You're going 9% with this just because of that leeching. If you go polar winds, ever, that's going to be huge. But just the leeching alone. Bingo. Alright. Damage. You are dealing damage. So we're going to scale both of these up to about 8. Penetration is going to be your lackluster. Now, mind you, we don't have the Mundus either. We will be getting that. Yeah, Maelstrom. It's a Nord, and I suggested the Maelstrom Staff and Master Sword and Board. No monster set with the build config because they're using the wall. Okay. Directs. It's more Thermiters, though. You have a lot more AoEs, but there are some directs. I'll take it up to about 5. But the block is what I want. I want that reposit. That passive is the key. Put a couple points. Buffer over 1, whatever. Thaumaturge. Yeah, it's got to happen. We'll go base 6. You will be needing physical pen as well. What's about 3 something? 3.5. We'll start off with the 3.5. Yeah, if I'm conflicted with the Arctic versus Polar, I get the utility from the Polar, but I like the AoE. What I'm telling you, this is why I'm saying, you have leeching, go Polar. I'm serious, like, the mitigation's going to be nuts. I like the Polar, but I see your effect. So, I mean, you're not going wrong either way. Either way, you're not going wrong, Lewis. You're not. That's the beauty of it. You have a viable application in both sets, the way you're using it. So I really wouldn't be butthurt about it. You know, I'm just going to scale this up just a little. Now keep in mind we don't have to go 120 because you have your major heroism. That's apparent. Don't need to worry about that. We have 9 points left though. The Magicka is where it's going to be at, given the factor. Penetrating value, we're looking at 5,200 and something for max, and 3.5 crushers should be pretty good on that penetrating value. We'll take it. This probably lets us go up to about 9, right? And nice, you did get the Arctic well. Now this is also going to be nice about this build. So when you kill an enemy, you have a 20% chance to restore Magicka with this build. And for up to 3 friendly targets within 2.5 meters. So when you lay your AoE effects, actually keep the Polar Winds. keep the other one. Because when you kill, you have a chance to restore. So I really like that. Let's go with the mitigation now. Okay. Let me confirm that first. Let's take a look at our stat sheet. Let's see what pros and cons with Nord and resistance value. Oh my god. That's like it's like perfect. It's perfect. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's insanely perfect. Look at the magic recovery now. So, given the fact that your health and your magic recovery looks so good, actually, let's change one minor thing. That looks so cherry. Let's go back in. Ugh! It pulls Magicka recovery way low. But wait, actually that's a good thing, because your max Magicka is out 20,000. So that leaves a lot of room, and you'll have that stamina. Yeah. No, that looks really nice. Now, also, let's finish out the champion points into mitigation. So you're looking really nice. You're looking pretty strong across the board. So we're going to reduce physical direct. I never worry about dots and dungeons or anything. We'll take this up to about 12. We don't want to suffer too much from the diminishing value, given the fact that you're so good across the board. I mean, serious. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you. You look so strong across the board. We're going to go up to about 9, and I'll show you why. Now, keep in mind, you're using the shimmering, right? That's a shield. We're going to up that mitigating effect, even though it's just a little bit, not too much. Now here becomes your main focus point. Your healing received, given that you're going to self-sustain heals. That's why I said if you go with Polar Winds, you're not gonna suffer too much. But I'm going to take this up to about 14%. I guess around that 75 marker, right? Because you're going to be basically doing the lot of you're healing yourself. You're mitigating yourself consistently with this build. Okay, we have a few points left. Now we can up this. Let's go about 14. No, about 16 we can go. Right. Take this up to about 10. Take that up to about 10. We have 1 point. Now we put in heavy armor focus. Okay. Now, question of it is, do I want the determination for the passive? You know, I like all the passive setups here. You can go with reinforced, but that damage shield's nothing compared to your Frost Staff shield. Todd, what's up, dude? So I actually like this type of setup for this configuration, but let's take a look at it. Okay, you got your 20. Now let's hit your fortress. Dude, nice. Nice, look at that. You're under the 31K. You have almost 45,000 health. Nice, that's right in that marker. It's right there. Your magic recovery is a little low, but that's fine because you know you have high-end magicka. And you're going to weave up. You can weave up heavy attacks, maintain resource pool, get the taunts in. You can also block on the magicka when stamina gets too low. We put a little bit more in the stamina based on the premise that we have a lower amount of stamina. So given the fact that you have a lower amount of stamina, you want a little bit more in that recovery versus the magicka. So it's really, this looks badass, actually. This setup, this can be your health recovery is insane. It's nuts. It's off the roof. I can adjust that a little bit. Yeah, dude. Seriously, after like setting that is that, and the only thing you need this the sword and shield, maybe a block or two, and just your taunts, your reduction. And that's it. You don't have to use absorb magic all the time. Only if it's a magical ability being thrown at you. You don't have to hit it. So that's the nice aspect to it. Everything else, and your subtraining assaults. Subtraining assaults is a little pricey, but given the fact that you only need it on a primary major mob encounter on that back bar, it works for you. You're dealing the damage. Your penetrating value is kind of covered between as much as you can for a tank. So we covered the distance between the two avenues. I really like this. I really think you got a strong-ass build. This build could probably take you all the way, Lewis. I'm not going to lie to you. This build would take you all the way. As long as you know how to manage your resources and your timing, a build config like this on a Warden is endgame worthy. It is endgame worthy. No doubt about it. That is so badass. That is so badass, Lewis. It was an honor to help just kind of do a couple minor little things on this. When you sent it to me, I was really like, okay, I see what he's doing. But after looking at it, you know, and how we applied the application, it's so badass. The mitigation is just there. The health recovery, the shielding system. We're using no monster set on this because you don't have to, because you're using the Frost Staff. Yeah, absorb magic mainly for the reduction in block cost. Right. Dude, I'm serious, man. Like, seriously. Yeah. No, that's badass. This is put the leeching vines. We kept your bull nets. We kept true to your build config. That's what I really liked about it. We didn't have to change a lot of things. Basically, it's just about how to set up the parameter in the regen and your champion points, pretty much, and idealizing the fact that we're not going to want with this type of build a monster set. Now, keep in mind, Lewis, if you do not have the Maelstrom Ice Staff, you can use any Ice Staff. But I'm telling you, you want to get the Master Shield and Mace, or a one-hand weapon. So, and I'm going to be covering another video about the properties of, like, a lot of people will sometimes think that sword and board weapon doesn't matter. I'll cover that in another video. So, in the next week or two. But yeah, no, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Looks so badass. WoW Endgame now to find a guild that will let me run it. Don't tell them. You know, one of my friends was like, I just don't tell them what I do. I was like, really? He's like, yep. Unless they actually question it, I never tell them. Now, if you have a problem in endgame with like stamina or some block, you can reduce the max health, right? Because your mitigating effect, right? Your primary mitigating effect isn't going to scale off your health system because you're not using a shield system that is required on the health. The health is nice just to be able to take a blunt damage. With the warding, that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility. Well, you have no points allocated to basically do this. So if you wanted more stamina and the set's already, you can glyph. So let's say I wanted, keep up the good work, man. Thank you, Zai. Thank you. So let's say because your primary mitigation isn't scaled health, right? Yeah, thank you, Zai. Thank you for coming in, man. And if you guys are not subscribed, please go over, click subscribe on that, man. That's my dude for life. He's been doing so awesome. I'm glad one of us come up. I'm glad on it. I'm so happy about that. That's every day, all day. I'm not the most liked, but I don't really care to be, to be honest with you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to try to help the players who want to pay attention and, you know, do their thing. So, okay, so here's the deal. If you needed a little bit more stamina because your mitigation system's a little whatever, you can go in, and this is why I always tell people I see numbers in a whole different perspective. So let's say I wanted to drop this down to about 40K, right? But because I wanted that extra little bit of stamina. It's crazy as it sounds, I'm going to actually take this, glyph that, take this, and glyph that stamina. And that should bring me down to 42 with 21. And if I am correct, this should drop me. There you go. Who knows the math? Who knows the math? Oh, I just see it so good. Oh. You see what I did there? So I dropped the health. I dropped the max health down to 40K by taking the 3 biggest pieces that were going to be infused, right? So these are divine. That will change with the infused. That's going to drop your max health down to around 41. Now, that's perfect because your health recovery is high, right? So now you've sacrificed about 4K for 4 health to do what? Bam! More stamina. Bam! More stamina. Bam! More stamina. Actually, I like that right there. I love that. It hits that over that 40K mark. We got a ton of resources. Our gens are looking kind of about even. The health recovery is great. The mitigation system in this works because you're basically mitigating off heal and regen versus a shield system is where your mitigation's working. Bam! Oh! Bam! Ow! Loved it. It was an honor, Lewis. It was an honor. Seriously, man. So take your 3 biggest pieces. Recommendation on my end. Drop down the health. Go to 40K. You're going to be able to take the beat and you're going to be able to mitigate. You're going to get that max stamina up to 19,706. Your penetrating values are there. You're healing. You got 20 on the base. Add the Ice Fortress. You're still under with the 26 to the 26 margin. This is pretty. This is so pretty. Oh, I love it, Lewis. It was an honor. It was such an honor to do this. We got 54 in the Magicka. We got 10 in the Stamina. We got the 3 biggest pieces, you know, marked up. We got the regens on the jewelry. Champion point system looks great. Perfect. This is endgame worthy. Completely optimal. Endgame worthy for your configuration and your playstyle, Lewis. So if you like your build, this is badass build. This is a badass build. No doubt. No doubt about it. That's badass stats. Love it. I love it. It's so good. All right, guys. I didn't get another person who needed anything done for Sponsor Friday. But keep in mind what I'm going to go ahead and do every Friday. I am going to basically get with any sponsors. and do custom build configuration. So it's taking your playstyle, your build, and configuring it to the optimal way you want to play with it. That's all it's doing. So if you have an idea, if you're a sponsor and you have an idea, I really do appreciate all your help and all the work you do for the community. This was really fun. It was a blast, Lewis. It was a blast. And I hope you like this. You know, I hope you like what we did today. Hey, morning, Rock! You just missed it. I just got done doing this awesome Nord Warden tank for Lewis. Yeah, your freezer burn build helped me come up with this build. Dude, this build of yours is badass. No monster proc, no nothing. Oh, this is a Nord, by the way, Rock. It was inspired. Lewis said he did it for you. Because you're a Nord fan. But I loved it. I really, really liked this. I think it was a great job. You know, the configuration worked out so great, Lewis. We just had to readjust those values somewhere, right? And that's what this game is about. I stress that to people. When people say I don't know math, it's like I tell people I see math in a whole different way. You know, I can look at this sheet and know so much where I need, what I need, where I need to go. And people want to go ahead and criticize me, but at the end of the day, they usually all go in whose direction? My direction. My direction. I'm doing 21 years, man. I'm not saying they're not skilled. They're very skilled gamers. They're just young. They're figuring it out. They're getting there. And, you know, to each their own. If it works for them, I'm not going to criticize on them. Just don't want toxicity in the game. That's all. That's it. And, oh yeah, Rock, dude, you got to replay this because this whole shit was banging. Yeah, no, it was so banging because it's a Nord Warden tank. It's so banging, I promise. But yeah, definitely a plus. But yeah, every Friday, Sponsor Friday. If you have a build idea, post it below in this episode and hit the sponsor button. It's only for sponsors. So on Sponsor Friday, I'll go ahead and I'll try to configure a build for you specifically. All right. And it's basically to help you along with your playstyle without having to go with the meta. Ooh. So you can like skip the meta. Anyways, love it. It works out. Looks great there, Lewis. Pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you for allowing me to do this for you. Once again, I'm Mystic Raven. This CSO Daily. Thank you for watching, and once again and always, have a nice day.